Good day, ladies and gents. Welcome to the Fairway Fit Golf Podcast, where two friends get together to talk about how we are trying to look good, feel good, and play good. Let's go. Joining me, Greg. Welcome back. How we doing? Been about probably a little over a week. I like to say things have been going well. Tell me how you've been doing.
I like to see you in the Kelly Green, carrying that St. Patty's Day spirit all the way through Thursday.
I have worn it for 4 straight days.
Nice, solid.
No,
I didn't even know you
actually
were
just-
Irish. Is Baudern Irish?
Just threw it on. You are pretty in pink. Obviously, for those who could check us out on YouTube,
It's dusty
please do.
peach. Dusty peach is the color.
All right.
Looks
Keep
much better
fading
when
in
I'm
and out.
tan.
You see my video keeps fading in and out. Something we got to work on. But all right. But yeah, we are on YouTube. Make sure to check us out, like and subscribe, do all those good things. But good to be back. The start of episode 2 here on season 2. And we got a lot to talk about. If you listened to last week's episode, we talked a lot about our plan on how to achieve our new goals. We're also going to talk about the first annual Fairway Fit Cup.
Let's go.
My guess is that by the time this episode is posted and out, we will probably be traveling down to our first trip of the season. And we got a couple readings, a couple range sessions to talk about. So, let's go ahead and start with you, man. What have you been up to?
Basically, I've gotten technically 2 range sessions in the last couple of days. Really, one was a sim, got some range work there, and then played a course up in Jersey that had a lot of water on it to try and prepare for our trip.
Wait a second. You play on the sim, you played the course in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, did you go on a trip and you didn't tell me?
Yeah,
Okay, so
I snuck out.
you got to fill me in on this sim because Billy's been talking about this place. Fill me in. What's it all about?
I mean, it's. I would say it's your poor man's X golf. It's your poor man's 5-iron. It's your poor man's and I don't mean that in a bad way, but
Right.
I mean it's not all the glitz and glam. It's just straight. I want to put in work, and I can't afford a sim at my house. So basically, it's almost like it's like a warehouse center, basically, that you go in and you log on to TrackMan, and he's got 2 bays there to hit in, and you schedule a time to go in with your membership, and basically we were there for maybe 3 hours.
Okay.
And I only saw one other person there.
Is it just bays, or is there like a putting green?
There's 2 hitting bays, and then there is a putting area as well.
Like, describe the putting area, because I'm thinking TGL.
No, I'm thinking you're thinking basically way overboard here. Think of a glorified putting mat that is
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yes.
Okay. I know
without all the putters that you can try though.
I kind of like the putters idea. Okay. Pretty big putting green, or just
yeah.
Any undulation?
No.
Flat.
Yes.
Was it fast?
I did not even touch a putter.
Didn't even touch the putting green. All right, and it was the TrackMan?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's
and
it's
got stuff that you can hook your phone up to film yourself, and basically have
like cameras or something.
No, basically tripods that you can log into TrackMan Film and basically record your session if you want to. I mean, he definitely did it right. I mean, he's got a little lounge area. He's got a TV and cooler and stuff like that. No beer. It's just water. But
are you allowed to bring
that?
beverages?
I didn't know. I didn't know that, so I just showed up with just water.
Okay. That's odd for you on a golf course.
And I think that's probably why I played so bad. I mean, I hit the ball rather decently, but for some reason, after my first drive was I bombed it. It was like 300. And then it was 300 exactly. And Billy can attest to that one. And then the remainder of the round,
Wind dated.
It
inside the
was
sim.
far back when, the back when was at least 20, 30
Downhill,
miles an hour.
downhill, downwind, downhill,
Um,
downwind.
but I mean, the rest of the day I was skying drives. I don't understand why. I was hitting it dead straight into the screen, and it looked
Okay.
like great ball flight, but
Spinny?
I was maxing out at like 225, 230 and just skying balls uh the remainder of this.
And now TrackMan gives you a ton of numbers. Were you able to look at the numbers? Did you look at the numbers at all?
I started looking at the numbers and then I basically had to go to grandma and grandpa's house.
Gotcha. All right. So one thing we need to try to do, I think it might be worth us heading that direction and doing some video work over there. Like I said, we're up on YouTube now. Might be worth getting some reels going over there on the sim.
That's
I
not a
mean,
bad idea.
so we'll have to get
It's
Billy involved,
it's
obviously, but
it's cheaper. I will say that. It was $20 for me to be a guest there rather
that's
than
nothing.
paying like well, you go to X Golf for 5 iron, you're paying $80 an hour.
Yeah, and like even Dola's driving range, which is I thought it was going out of business, but it seems to be still in business. But that even thinks it's $20 for a large bucket. So I mean, you got $20 to hit balls in the range, and you can go ahead and also play probably different courses. So all right, so Greg is talking to a little special guest that's trying to get on air, but
Yeah,
we'll keep her
we
off.
do have a little guest here. So
Yeah, but we'll keep her off here, not a problem there. But so as you're doing that, fill me in a little bit on the golf course in New Jersey. Where'd you play? Because I mean, TrackMan's got like I want to say TrackMan's got like 30,000 courses. So
it was Liberty. It was either Liberty National or Liberty
so
Golf
Liberty
Club,
National is that? Where did you say you went? New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So that's like New York, New Jersey, though, like
Oh, I
right up
mean,
there.
when we first hole, I could see the Statue of Liberty
Yeah, I want to
out in the
say LPGA plays a tournament there. Uh, I think, our friends at No Lane Up, who, also podcast people, they put, who's the one in New York? They played some tournaments there. It's supposed to be a really nice golf course. Really
Yep.
nice. Is it a Trump course?
Not sure. Didn't do much
Not
research
sure
on it.
either.
I just Billy picked it and I said, "All right, let's play." We played the tips and it was a
Ooh,
solid
the
course.
tips.
It was a solid course. I mean,
There you go.
you know, I put
But you
myself in a
said it
lot more
wasn't a good
trouble than
range
I
day?
needed to.
But it wasn't a good day?
It
I
wasn't
mean,
a
it
good
was your
day.
first time hitting actual golf balls.
No, because I mean, I had gone to to X Golf and stuff like that,
That's right.
so I mean, I'd hit Sims, so, I've hit golf
Okay, you're
balls.
right.
It was
You're right.
totally different than last time. I mean, my yardages were back to normal on this than, uh, the 217
X-Cal.
7-iron that I was hitting at X Golf.
Maybe that one was downwind.
Yeah,
Who knows?
might have been.
I have heard simulators are trying to start incorporating, like, balls out of the rough. I always relate it back to, like, Tiger Woods golf, when you had, like, 80% shot coming out
Mhm.
of the rough or the bunker. I've heard they're trying to work on those. I'm assuming probably the higher end ones too. I know my brother has SkyTrack, and that's the one that I think he's been trying to work on,
I mean,
to do as
it
much
would
as he
have the
can.
little number of, like, 75 to 90% power, um,
Gotcha.
like, underneath the club selection that you would have, so you could basically change it amongst that,
Okay.
but, I mean, at the same time, it's a sim. It's not as I wanted to see myself in real life, and now I instantly regretted that decision after today, so
See, it's weird about Sims is, like, a lot of people wanna go there and play golf courses. I kinda wanna go in there and hit 59 irons into a target and look at my stats and my variation, my spread
and
per se,
that's exactly how this one was set up, is, like, when I was warming up, I could basically say I'm hitting a 9 iron, and they'd be like,
right
"Goal
into
target." They'd be like,
yeah.
"What's your target
And
goal?"
you could pick, like, green size. I think you can pick, like, small, medium, large greens,
Yeah, and, like,
different
you
types of
just set
things.
the yardage there, and then you're trying to hit to that target, and then it would give
I
you, like, okay, you hit 15 to 20, like, 9 irons, you hit the target, target yardage and inside of that target, like, however many times.
Right, that I feel like that's where you can get more out of
And
because you
TrackMan's pretty cool because I can actually log back in and view my entire range session.
did you look at that text I sent you before you went that had all the spin ratios?
I
Well,
looked
I think it
at
had
it
more
I
than
looked
just
at it,
that.
and I looked at it afterwards, and my spin rate is way off.
Like, high?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a Larry meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna need to get to him here soon for not only the final 3 wood fitting, but that I've been putting off for years, but, um,
Open
definitely
mind.
to try and change some stuff up.
Yeah, I
Not
don't think we
not that
talked
I
about
can not that I can change my irons anyways because they're not forged, but, I mean, at least, I don't know, maybe change shafts out or something like that. I don't know what is going on
I
right
don't know.
now.
I don't know. Well, it's you've hit 2 times, 3 times. I mean, it's hard to say right now where you've been. I remember we talked about 2,500 ball strikes.
Yeah.
Where do you think you are? 400?
I wouldn't even call today. Today I might have gotten 8 ball strikes.
Not good ball strikes. Not good ball strikes. As many as you can. So, all right. Yeah, I was able to get out to our guy Larry last week, and I don't think we talked about this on episode 1, but
We
I was
did
able to get
not.
out to Larry, and I think it was right after that we recorded, and I was able to add another secret weapon. I guess it's not really secret if I'm talking about, but another weapon to the bag. I was able to get a 3 wood with the GT2 from Titleist. I don't know if I can get away from Titleist. I'll be honest with you. It just feels, just feels so good when it like just touches your lips and it just, no, and no, I don't know why. Like he asked me if I had a preference and I said no. I really am looking for something that is going to give
How
me
many different clubs did you hit?
I think we hit 6 or 7 different
Oh,
brands. And it
wow.
wasn't even just brands. Like I hit 2 different Callaways, 2 different TaylorMades, and then like
Did
because
you
like
hit
I
the
guess like
QI?
yeah, the QI 35, like, one is they have different models in the
Mm.
QI 35, so I hit 2 of those. As much as I actually to the eye, I really, really like the QI 35. I mean, it was a very, very good-looking club. It just never came off the face the same way that the Titleist did, and it was like, once I hit the Titleist, it was like everything was comparing to that club, and I think I waited and hit Titleist last. So, I mean, I was already, let's just say 35 to 53
You're
woods
already
in.
leaning that direction regardless.
I wasn't, I really wasn't. I mean, my driver's tailor-made, so I didn't really have any sort of problems if I had to go tailor-made, and I just when I hit it, man, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it, and it lived up to its name. I mean, I really liked it. The GT2 opposed to like the GT3, and I believe there's a GT4, is a very low spin 3 wood. So for higher swing speed, low spin. So I think my numbers were right on, and I was right in that range. I think the scale
PGA
was.
Tour range
I
or
think it
the
was. It said
Corn Ferry
PGA Tour
Tour?
range. I'll take either right now. I mean, obviously I had to hit it. I mean, and then we did turn it in a little bit because I want to try to play more of a fade with the driver. And Larry and I talked about setting that up, which we did, and then we set up the 3 wood for more of the draw. So,
Oh, so we're working the ball both ways now.
well, it's not necessarily, and I told him it's not that I want to like have big swingers or like it's going to turn like 30,
Don't
40
slip.
yards. Yeah, I did. But I want to be able to pick out target lines. So the one target line obviously will be middle to right side of the fairway, opposed to my driver, which I am basically down the left side, looking to work it back. So, I mean, I can't complain. We're going to talk about our big trip here in a few moments, but hopefully it is ready. I know it's been ordered. I'm just waiting for his message to go by
Is there
and
express
pick it up.
shipping on that?
I don't think I did express because I had 2 weeks.
Mm.
I'm assuming I'll get something probably tomorrow from him. It's going to kind of depend on when he was able to get it ordered because we did it
Now,
later in the
are you gonna
afternoon.
when you get it, are you gonna have a little session with him just to dial it in?
Um, I mean, I probably would hit a couple. I don't know. It really is just going to be on time. I mean, I got a lot
True.
going on.
I mean,
I
you got
picked up a
basketball
third
games
team.
and that.
I picked up a third team I'm coaching this spring.
Good
So
lord.
yeah, so it's been a little bit more, a little bit more occupied, but it's fine. If I have time, I'll definitely be able to do it. So, um, but it sounds like we're starting to get out. The weather is breaking. I know it was beautiful today.
Oh,
I
it
know
was
it was
gorgeous this morning. It was like, if we could pipe in music, I would say, like, it was like I walked to the range this morning to, like, the Masters music, or maybe at least the Waterbury Open music, and,
Waterbury Open, the only
it
tournament
was
that puts you straight to the PGA Tour.
it was great. It was great, and, tell you the truth, I was warming up amongst, some of the greatest athletes in the world, it seemed like, um, and was like, "Alright, I can get my range session in before work." Had a great feeling about the day, and then I proceeded to here, let's play this game. What club do you think I started with?
What club did you start with? You started with, hopefully it was
No, 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 not hopefully. What do you think I
utility
started?
wedge, gap wedge.
No, close though, close, close. I started
Yeah,
with
I
a
mean,
58 degree,
so
and
so I usually start with a wedge, but it's more of my pitching wedge
that's
because
usually
it's a little
me.
more forgiving than obviously my Vokies, my SM9s. So it's usually a little bit more forgiving, and then you're only hitting like 50% shots to warm up. So I never wanted to take that out, but I'm not going to sit here and say I've never done it. I had probably
I
taken driver out
I
first
was
swing.
a little bit stiff this morning, because most of the time when I play, or when I practice, I've already done my workout for the day and
Right.
loosen myself up. But morning, just rise and grind. But started with the 58 and figured same thing. 50% swings. Let's go ahead and just kind of loosen up before I start trying to go full swings with my pitching wedge, and then you kind of work up a little bit in the bag. I already had a plan of I was not gonna hit driver today. Um, and birds were chirping, it was gorgeous out, I had just long sleeves and pair of shorts on. Um, there was guys getting ready to go out, I was jealous. Um, people were striping on the range, and I proceeded to, out of the 75 balls that I hit probably 66 chili dippers up Lee Jansen's butthole.
Oh my gosh.
I shanked it so many times off the hosel that I literally, luckily nobody could hear what I was saying to myself in my head, but couldn't figure it out. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if I was just kind of being a little baby with being a little stiff and not getting through the ball, or what I was doing. But technically today I kind of forgot how to swing a golf club and
Huh.
was just hosel rocketing everything. And it was
So this is your
complete.
first true ball
Exactly.
flight
So I
thing.
was
So
excited. I was excited to go there, because I've actually been having great contact in the Sims, like,
right.
where I'm just hitting into a screen, but at the same time, like, I was like, I would need to see this in real life. Like, I want to be outside and see the ball flight and see how it plays and everything like that. And man, this was a real kick to the groin this morning.
Oh boy.
Was that I hit probably a total out of that 75, probably 8 shots that were, I was like, "Okay, that went straight." Like, what did I do there? Why did that, like, why doesn't that feel, like, normal right now?
Huh.
I could
Hmm.
just imagine every single guy on the range being like, "I hope that guy is not paired with me today."
Well, this is actually not a bad lead up to what we were going to talk about first. I mean, last episode we talked about goals. We talked about getting our goals kind of back from last year because what we finished with. I know your goal, and let's just keep staying with you because you're kind of giving us the spiel of what happened this morning. We talked about your goals, obviously getting back down to a single digit. I think you need about 4 or 5 shots taken off your handicap, and then obviously trying to put around in the 70s. And I think that all that's going to happen simultaneously for you. I mean, you put up a 77, 78, it's going to drop you a tremendous amount. So especially if you put 2, holy
Yeah.
cow! I mean, you'll be right where you want on both ends there. But
I mean,
we
you
talked
tell you
about putting
tell you the
together a
truth, I'm
plan.
gonna I'm gonna drop a bunch even if I throw back-to-back rounds in, like, 81.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you'll be. It's going to be easier for you to get to that 9. It's just that hungry, how low you want to take that single digit. But we talked about we were going to come to today's episode with a plan. All right. Now, you were able to get to the range in the morning. You have a little bit more time in the morning than I do. My commute's a little longer, and then I actually try to get most of my working out done beforehand. Where you have basically to where I start teaching about an hour and a half before you
Mhm.
every day. So you have that window where you try to get your workouts in, and then the scatter. Obviously, we both scatter stuff throughout the day, but um, what's your plan? What do you detailed, non-detailed? Hopefully, it's a little detailed because I think we have to take you to the next level. I mean, we have to start thinking of ourselves not as people that trying to be good at golf, but be good golfers. I mean, take what we can do and get to that next level. So fill us in. You had a rough day today, but you were able to get out at least twice in the last
4
4 days.
days.
4 days. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, if you can keep that up. But what is the plan for grade this year to hit our goals?
Well, definitely, like, through the remainder of the school year will be morning practice sessions because afternoons are just super busy with kids stuff. Um, but basically morning range sessions, the course opens up at 7:30 now, which is right
Mhm.
after I can drop my youngest off at daycare. So I'm gonna try and squeeze in probably at least 3 range sessions in the mornings of the week. Obviously, there's other things, meetings with school and everything like that that play into that, but at the same time, at least 3 sessions a week, um, moving forward. Um, Continue with, like, everything that I'm doing in the gym. I talked about it in episode 1 that I started a mobility program trying to basically just get more mobile and basically feel better and stronger and more range of motion when it comes to it rather than being stiff and stagnant when I'm swinging.
I know
Um,
you met with a couple people or virtually, probably didn't meet in person, but
yes, yes,
virtually.
it was a
Do you
virtual
feel
meeting.
like that mobility, the newer stuff is I mean, are you feeling anything yet?
I mean, I've been doing it for about a week and a half now, and a lot of it is like end range stretching and building strength on top of it. Because I mean, you a lot of it is not just like static stretching. It's basically moving your body out of alignment, if that makes sense to anybody. But basically, when you think about most movements, you don't do things like you do in a weight room. Weight rooms are basically very much so form related and you stick in that form.
Mhm.
This is more so moving through your body's range of motions when you're like out of alignment and basically kind of like, opening up your hips and basically strengthening them at an end range. So almost having like an isometric hold at a end range of a stretch, and kind of moving through those movements and obviously progressing towards doing them unassisted. Like I mean, some of the stuff that this person does makes me baffled. Where they're just like, all right, like this is the stretch, and I look at them right away, and I'm like, can't do that.
Now, are you
And
following them, like, on a video?
yep, yep, they have
Like,
like a
they're just
video
demonstrations, and then you
video
go from there?
breakdown of like the entire thing.
Is it
But like
timed?
it is. So it's
So,
it's
did they move when I say time, not like the video, like 20 minutes, but do they move you along through your time? Like, kinda like not like a hit workout, but like you're stretching for a certain amount of time, and then they
no,
move you.
basically the workout's planned out for you, but then in the workout, basically they have a video that will run continuously. But basically what I'll do is like watch the stretch, make sure I'm doing it correctly. Obviously, now after
Gotcha.
7 days, a lot of the stuff that they do, I've
Repetitive,
already
but
I've
different.
already known, but then if there's something on the workout that I don't know, I can jump right to that portion of the video and see it demonstrated and see how you
Okay.
can basically regress or progress it. Um, and it's definitely like, I mean, there's days after I do the mobility work that I'm sore from it.
Okay.
Like, so, I mean, it's good. And, I think it's a great kind of complement to like my end range training that I'm doing in the weight room. Um, Still running every day and, got my time down to a 6:24. I still push it out on the track. Um, but at the same time, like, definitely, I think right now what I'm trying to do is basically just swing my swing. I'm not trying to change anything right now. I'm not trying to look perfect. I'm not trying to get into a certain slot or a certain form or have it look great on camera. Um, I'm looking more results based. So how the ball flight is it
And
repetitive?
it's more, so I don't know. I get what you're saying, results, but I think it's more feel based. I mean,
Right.
you're not trying
Is it
to,
repeatable?
yeah, you're not trying to, change your swing or obviously you'll work with it as it goes. If you feel like you're going left, you'll make sure you get your hips, and all that good stuff. But it's more or less getting consistent of what you got to square the club face up and hit golf shots. Not
Hmm.
just hit golf balls. When I coached golf, that was something I always talked about with golfers. Is in the off season, you're working on golf swing, right? Mechanics. I mean, obviously you're tinkering stuff just like a hitter does in baseball, but in a range session where we're getting ready, we're hitting golf shots, not golf swings. We want to take golf shots. So you're more in the golf swings method right now, not changing things, but just trying to find what gets you comfortable and moves you forward. Um, so one thing we talked about too, and the plan sounds great. I like where you're going. I love hearing the consistency of what's going on. All right, but here's my challenge to you, and it's something we talked about. Is I want to bring something that's going to challenge you, and I know in the last one I joked about telling you to do aim point, but that's more of a comical one than anything. But here's my challenge to you: when Greg walks into the weight room, Greg has a plan. Okay, he has a plan written. If it's not written down, it's written in his head. He knows exactly what first exercise is, the second, and moves on forward. I know you well enough that you do not walk into the weight room and say, what am I going to do today? You may have those
Hmm.
days where you float around, but for the most part, your floating is all right. It's a back day or it's a pull day. What are my pull exercises I'm going to be? You have a template, a plan in place. What I want from Greg, I want you to write down or put into a Google Doc or put on a Google Calendar. I want you to put down every Sunday when you do your meal prep, you do your golf prep and you stick to your golf prep.
I
And I
like that.
also, I also would love to see, and I would love for you to share it because I don't think it's something I think it is something we can talk about on here. If you can, the weight room so well, you reflect on your workouts afterwards. I still think Greg, the golfer, is trying to be a golfer. I love to see you put down a reflection piece, almost like you're journaling after your practice sessions. What went well? What felt good? What are you confused about? And I always tell I
Well,
always tell my
that'd be a
kids,
long entry after this morning.
but you know what I mean? I always tell my kids it's not what we did wrong. What are you confused about to get better? Right?
Yeah.
We're all going to make mistakes. And golf is a game of who has the best bad shots because everybody has good shots. When I hit a wedge to 5 feet, well, let's not say I look, but maybe the ball off the club looks just like a PGA Tour player for that one shot. The difference is that they're doing it 18 out of 20 times or 9 out of 10 times, where I'm doing it 10 out of 20 times. Obviously the consistency factor. But
Right.
I know Greg goes into the weight room with a plan. I want Greg to go into golf practice with a plan. And I'm going to share with you a book that I've been reading. I can't say I've done a tremendous job with it, but it's a book that I've been reading that talks about some drills on how to practice. And when we start getting into my plan, I'm starting to try to use use that as well too. So it talks about driver drills, wedge drills, iron drills. It talks about just not hitting driver for 2 hours, but there are times where you want to hit driver for 60 to 70 shots because you want to feel the fatigue, and that helps increase swing speed. So I think the journal part of the exercises, or the journal part of the practice sessions, might be the extreme part of my challenge to you, which you've never really shied away from anything extreme.
It's
So
true.
I'm going to throw it out there. But I do think when you sit down and do your meal prep, just like I do, I have a Google Calendar. I have on there Brad range session, Brad 9 holes, 18 holes, um, and go from there. I think if you do that, because if you look back at last year, when you started practicing, your handicap actually went up at the exact same time. Now, I think it went up for what happened prior to your practicing. Your practicing caught you to a spot where you started to feel better on the golf course, and you dropped very quickly.
Yeah.
And you were a 10 handicap playing with 17 strokes, opposed to, what you were actually a 17 handicap at, because I think the practice sessions helped you benefit from it, and that helped you drop that handicap.
Yeah.
And when things got busy, you obviously, we have lives. I mean, we're never going to get away from that. We never want to get away from that. But when those lives got in the way, you kind of you shied, or you kind of faded towards the fitness, making sure to get your workouts in. And I wanted you to challenge it. Let's put golf just as important, because I don't think it'll ever be the same for you. I don't think you can put golf before all that stuff.
I don't think so
Well,
either.
I don't, and
Or
I'm not
make the
asking you
vein.
to, but maybe you limit one and make sure we're still hitting the
Oh,
stretching
yeah.
that part. And I think if you do that by summer, you'll be a single digit handicap. I really
That
do.
would be nice.
I mean, we're talking what, 4 months, 3.5 months, give or take.
Yep.
I guess it's actually technically, I think it's 3 months if you look by the dates and
You're
everything.
just
But
you're
so,
just trying to bait me so that it's closer on our majors. You're not giving me
well,
as many
it
strokes.
I think that yes and no. I mean, I would love to see it where we're playing straight up, and how golf's supposed to be, but that's not what I'm not. It's not really a bait, because again, I'm your biggest fan. I want you to get there, hopefully just as much as you would like to see me get to mine as well too. But I just know you don't go into the weight room that way, and I don't think you should go into a practice that way. And if it's on your phone, written down on paper, I mean, hold yourself accountable to what you're going to do. And you know what? One week, hey man, I'm busy this week. I got 2 sessions, or I got 1 session. Hey, it's not a big deal. I can hit putts in the garage. That's
Mhm.
always something. I mean, ball striking, and try to count your ball strikes to some degree, so you can see what gets me the best. Is it
Ye
500 ball strikes a week? Is it 300 ball strikes a week?
Well, that's
You know
just
what?
like I don't hit ball strikes, but with the strike pad and the click stick, I can at least train release point and club path,
But
which
I'm intrigued
that's
with
what
the
I'd be
click
doing.
stick. I'm intrigued with the click stick, is because I know you've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I believe you've done that a lot. And I wonder if it's not messed with you, but it's kind of put you in a situation where you got to do both. You got to hit balls and do click stick to truly get the
Yeah. And I
benefit
think
out
I
of
think
this.
that's probably true because, just focusing on release point and not hitting a ball and
Yeah.
just checking your club path that your divot's starting after the ball and
Yeah.
what path am I inside out or am I outside in?
And it's is as important as that is, I think you have to have the balance of everything. So, I thought about going in to do the 100 hours. It's 18 minutes a day. I wanted you to do
Mhm.
18 minutes a day of golf, which I know we're both so busy. Sometimes that's going to be unrealistic. So I think if you can sit down and put down a plan and hold yourself accountable, feel free. If you want to share, I mean, you share me your workouts pretty much every day to daily. Why not? Let's start sharing the golf piece as well too. Because I think if you do it, what's going to happen for me? I'm going to do it the
Yeah.
exact same, or try to do something as well. So, that is my
You'll do it
challenge
better
for you.
though.
Huh?
You'll do it better though.
Not better is relative to who's doing it. I don't think it's better or worse. I definitely think this is going to get you to where I think you could be. And so that's my challenge. That's kind of where I am
I
with
like
you.
it. I like it. I like it. I accept.
Yeah. There we go. I like it. So flip things around. To me, my plan um is going to sound very similar to what my challenge is to you. I am also writing down a weekly plan. I think mine is actually going to be looking for a number of ball strikes per week. And the reason I'm focusing on a number is because I don't think I take advantage of stuff at home or even taking stuff to the workplace like putting.
Yeah.
And that is a big goal of mine. And I have a golfer at work that one of my students, and he's on the golf team, and he's got some pretty high hopes of being a good player. And we talk a lot of golf. And I told him, I go, a big focus of mine is 30 yards and in. And I know everyone talks about 100 yards and in, and I'm like, yeah, 100 yards, that's great. 100 yards, 100 yards. But in all honesty, I need to be better 30 yards and in. I think I was so worried last year about the numbers and what I was shooting and stressing out about what the actual score was. I stopped myself practicing in with a purpose, where I was practicing to go play golf and to go play golf. It wasn't incorporating one skill. And so what I have tried to do, and I'm started this week, was put down um, a weekly goals of what I'm trying to get done per day. And Monday our golf course is closed. The one I go to is closed, but it's a very easy day to go putt. The putting green never
So the
closed.
range is closed and everything
The
like
range is closed. The course is closed, but you could play. You just no carts, no nothing. Like you would have to walk,
well, you
which isn't
love
a big deal to
walking
me.
anyways.
I do. But it's perfect for me to go up there and say that's my putting day.
Yeah.
Or what I'm trying to do is collect uh golf balls that I try to play mostly. I mean, I don't always play the same brand, but then have my own shag bag because I do believe for me, I'm at a level where it's going to be very hard to get to my numbers. So I want to chip with my golf balls.
Yeah.
Chipping with a range ball is fine. It's great on
You're not gonna
mechanics,
get to
but
spin though.
I'm not going to get the feels around the green that I want. So I've been trying to work on collecting a bag that I can carry and drop and then pick when I'm done with that. So coming up with, and I'm still trying to figure out, like I told
Have
you,
you finalized the ball yet?
it's going to be an X. I just don't think I have the money to finalize one brand. I mean, if I find a tailor-made TP5X, I'm gonna play a tailor-made TP5X until I lose it. I will tell you,
Are you a left
on
dash guy?
now that takes too much spin off. It's more of an X.
Because
But I will say,
I'm actually looking. I'm gonna go to our boy who has now sold his business to a neighbor of his, which is a 14-year-old golfer that is actually
huh,
really
I was like,
good.
where are you going with this? Our boy Larry?
He's the club champion, um, at a area course at 14 years old, and you probably know of him, but I might go get some left dash ones and see if I can take some spinniness off of me.
If you're really so I would say if I was feeling same as you that you felt like everything's spinning off the club, I would probably play left dash for a while and until you felt comfortable and then work your way back
Mhm.
to the X. That's
Yeah,
actually a very good
I think
plan.
my purchase this weekend when I go out and meet this new, uh, group of gentlemen, the dad and the son that are running the business because the other
Yeah,
guy sold it, I think I'm gonna basically I'll probably get some X's still just because that's what I'm so used to playing,
right.
but I think I'm gonna get a majority left dash and just try them out.
Yeah, I mean, when you go, let me know because I will put in probably a smaller order. I did go to Little League Day at Dick's Sporting Goods and bought some golf stuff. So it's actually off your whole purchase, 20% off your whole purchase. So
When
it's a
was
pretty
that?
good.
Why I
You
didn't
have
know about
you
this.
get a code for having a kid in Little League and softball. So Um,
And you couldn't just say, "Hey, what do you want?" And I would have Venmo'd you?
yeah, it was an expensive day. The wife went shopping, new pair of shoes. Yeah. Anyway, so, but
20%
that
off, basically free.
yeah, it's true. But that's my plan. I don't have the ball number I'm looking for because I still think I'm trying to get to that 2,500 ball strikes until I feel starting to feel really good on the golf course. So it's going to be so. In reality, if you are looking in that direction, we might be doing something very similar in that. So, um, just putting a plan. Like, I mean, I coach 4 nights a week right now, and so but with one sports coaching basketball, it's later in the evening, so, like, even yesterday, we had basketball practice, but I had a really, really good range session for an hour and a half, and I chipped probably for 40 minutes of it, and I would s and weirdly enough, 20 to 25 minutes of it was from one spot. Now we have 2 flags on our chipping green, and I was going majority to 1 flag, and then I did end up switching, but just that little bit got me into a really good place, and so and I'll talk about that in a few here, but, that's kinda where I am in my plan. I mean, my last part of the plan is to play more games in my round, meaning challenge myself more from the red tees, put myself in more competitive golf, but not necessarily for the number. Like, I don't want my only competition is to shoot 72. I want to play fun rounds of golf that keep my heart rate going and put myself in a place. And I don't want to call it money rounds, but maybe it's playing money rounds, maybe playing stuff from the red tees, maybe playing two mans like we talked about in our first episode with some of the goals we have. Playing different people, challenging them in there and there. So just playing more
I will say
competitive type golf.
those type things come a lot easier when you are a member.
They do, and so
'Cause
it.
those are things that, like, I don't have the luxury of being able to do. If I'm
So
paying what I'm
that's
paying
kind
to
of what
play
I
a
was.
course,
Yep.
it's tough for me to go out and just kinda mess around, if you will. And it's not messing around, that's just a word
No,
usage that I did, but basically, like, if I'm going out, I'm going out to put up
to put it up a number,
put a
and I
number
think,
in my handicap, like, I'm not
and
trying to just
not to sound, selfish on my part. I've never had that. So last
Oh,
year,
yeah, I know.
I
I'm
kept
jealous. I'm jealous. I
I
would love to
kept
go out
telling
there.
myself, today's the day," because I didn't know when tomorrow was going to be. But now, I mean, tomorrow could actually be tomorrow for me, and you don't have, yeah, and 100%, I completely agree. And as we have said from episode 1 and 2 of season 1, the cot in the basement is there.
It's true.
Come on out. We can help. You've got 3 babysitters here. We can make this happen.
I had a long conversation with Elise when I was laying in bed with her before she was going to bed. Obviously, she didn't. Um, but, like, she was actually talking about moving, and she was actually worried that me and mom were gonna move, and she was just gonna be her and Brody were gonna be staying here because she wants to stay in this house. And I was like I was like, "We're not moving
Yeah.
anytime soon, baby girl."
We had that talk with ours as well too when moving has come up. Who knows what goes through their heads.
Yeah,
So,
then
but all right, so lay it on me, not gonna hurt my feelings.
my biggest thing is once again, like, you hit the nail on the head. I am a big fitness person, and I do know that, like, when you jump into fitness, you are a very big runner, and you love running, and you love how that makes you feel. I pretty much I think you get the runner's high, and I don't think I've ever had that in my life, even though I've ran every day, um, and whatnot. I'm still not a huge fan of running. Um, I think that basically not only for your golf game, but for your overall fitness level, I think if you can really focus on maybe dialing back on the mileage and increasing more resistance training and core focused rotational ability type stuff, I think that type stuff would actually that might be the thing that jumps you from the 3 to the 0, right? 3 to scratch is just that ability to basically move your body like you're in good shape. You're in good shape to the point where you're running great and you're getting your mileage in. I mean, you crush me in mileage every single week. Um, but I think that like one of the things that you could actually gain some club head speed, gain some rotational ability, and obviously that would take adjustments in your swing too once you get a little bit, stronger and you're activating muscles a little bit more. You'll get longer off the tee, you'll get longer off your irons. Obviously, that will take an adjustment, but you love the range, so you can dial that in. Um, I think that doing more resistance training might be actually beneficial for you. You see all these guys now, you go to a PGA tournament and there is a huge weight room at every single event. There's trainers out there that say that like like every single day that these guys play, they're doing some type of pre-muscle activation or muscle activation in order to like lifting wise resistance training in order to make themselves better. Um, I'm not saying Tiger Woods style where you're doing a
No, I
SEAL
know.
workout and everything like that, but I think like you need to dial in more so on resistance training in order to not only see some of the results like just like aesthetically that you want to see, and I know that your goals are that too. But I think that would actually like help you in the long run on your golf swing too.
Yeah, I mean, I have I have done strength training and ran every single day since we've been back to work in August.
Mhm.
I don't disagree that I need to figure out what's better and not I don't want to say more, but I don't want to say less. I need to have a better focus. I do get stuck in sometimes the same routines, but for the mileage. But I will say a lot of my running is because I did go through a little mental phase where I put some of my weight back on and I have no idea how.
Mm.
And, I've had recommendations to go check my thyroid and do different things, but I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to going to the doctor. So, but no,
I'm
I
with you on
have,
that one.
and I do follow. Like I'm on a new used AI, and I found a workout, and I think I'm on week. When do we leave next week? I would say I think I'm on week 4 because I think it was a 6-week plan, and I started 5 days because I ended up having to travel that one week. But like I do, I mean, I have a lot of those things you're saying, but I definitely could get better in that. My only counter, and I'm not disagreeing with you, would be is I want to get to a certain weight first,
But you
and
do
then
know that muscle burns more fat.
I know.
Running burns calories, but you strength train, you build lean muscle mass, and that helps you
Yeah.
burn fat
I
at a
mean,
higher rate.
today I'm sitting at I've have over 30,000 steps, and it's telling me that I burnt 4,000 plus calories
Dang.
on my own. And I ran 6.5 miles this morning. Today was my active day, so it's a little bit of mobility, and I do some beach workout. I mean, I'll be lying to you if you got to hit those buys, tries, and flies, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we're still still want to look good. So this is more of I do some more mobility. I hit a couple of those today. Tomorrow's my explosive day where it's jumps and not cleans, but some RDL type things and different box jumps and more explosive workouts. So I do have it. I wouldn't disagree, and it is something I'm trying to get better on. I get really stale at times, and like I feel it in my hips, and that's probably my signal that I know I need to do more mobility. And for example, I wake up, I go on a 40-minute car ride, and when I my first step out of the car, it's like, "Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough workout today.
That'll get you every day.
It's gonna be a rough workout today." And so I know, and if I told you I stretch before I run, I'd be lying.
Oh,
Mm,
I lift before I run. That's my warm
yeah.
up.
So, But I have increased my mileage. So when we talk about increasing mileage, I've only increased mileage since probably early February, and that's where it's really had.
And
And then
what how many miles are you running a week now on average?
I'm 25 to 30 miles a week. Yeah.
You tripled me basically. I'm usually about 11.
Yeah, but I'm also I'm 150% your body weight.
No.
Yeah. I'm every bit of 220, 225, and you're
Okay.
107 or 8 pounds. I
Mm.
mean, rest of it.
158,
Yeah.
158, but close.
Yeah.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
I only
And
I
I know you happen to
that's
play in.
just because I had a check-in randomly the other day,
Yeah.
but and even that number shocked me like we talked about the other day. Um, but no, I mean, I agree, like, you work your butt off. You work your butt off and just like you said, like, you got kind of baffled by how you put on weight a little bit, and you know, the way you got the weight off earlier was running
I
as
ran.
much as you
Yeah.
can. So I can understand why you jumped right back into that, but I think, like, some of
I
the
did.
things like
I tried not to increase so fast, but I did, and I know
if you're feeling good, you're feeling good, though.
yeah, and again, I mean, I like I said, I ran today, and I still feel good at the end of the
And John
day.
Daly still swings the hell out of the club, so, I
Yeah.
mean
But yeah, I'm gonna try to add that stuff to my plan, and maybe with your
I will say next week on the trip, I'm not gonna really do lifts in the morning, but I'm planning on just little mile run warm up,
yeah,
and
I need
then
to activate something.
I want you to kinda go through the mobility things that where I'm doing with me because it's definitely, like, it's eye-opening where, like, this chick, she's Aussie, by the way, she's Australian, so, like, it's easy to listen to when you're doing it, and, I like accents, sorry, that's my thing, but basically, like, some of the stuff she'll be like, "Oh, okay, like, you're doing this exercise and you're just gonna like roll that knee down for internal stretch and then roll it back out and like she's doing full range of motion and I'm already looking at it like there's no chance I can do that unsupported. And then like she dives into like the regression and progression portion of it. But like basically some of the stuff like she does full range of motion. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the dude, whenever he comes on, like he's doing it. And I'm like, how? But obviously I'm day 7 and they're probably day 700. But
700
um
at least. Yeah, and I don't disagree. I mean, I'll accept that just like you accepted mine. I mean, I just come back to it. I know our challenge in September is as much mental as it is physical, but I'm leaps and bounds size-wise behind you,
yes.
and
I mean
my body
you're gonna
my
be carrying a
I
little
don't
more
know if
weight.
my body can just mentally toughen it out without shutting down like yours. You could probably get through more. I mean, just being honest with myself, um, and I can. And in the last 5 weeks, I have picked my mileage up. I see tremendous results. I mean, I really do. Um, and I need to get I have a number in my head, and I know in the golf side, I'm trying to not to worry about numbers, but I do have a number in my head, and I feel like if I can get there, I just think I can do so much more in the weight room and not have to stress about time and making sure that I'm on my feet running. And again, I read all those articles about walking at the incline actually burns more fat.
Mhm.
But when I do the numbers and I look at, and I know my watch isn't perfect, but when I work at my watch and I'm burning 3 times as many calories running, why would I not run when I guess I know I'm burning different calories, put it that way, but
I always laugh because Whoop always has me at low calorie burns every day.
really,
Like,
I mean,
you saying
my
like,
run
he
today said I burnt 1,100 calories.
yeah, see, like, me like and now granted, like, obviously, like, I have to input, like, my weight and my height and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, my caloric intake or caloric, burn throughout days mostly, like, I top out, like, sub 3,000 even when I'm at, like, a 17 strain
Yeah.
on the Whoop and whatnot. So, I mean, I always I don't really worry about the calories burned. I more so focus on like the 4 key points that I have is like strain, how many steps I took, and then like obviously like I track now like my zone 4 and 5 heart rate for the week, my
Yeah.
zone 2 and 3, and I
I
set
do I
goals
do a lot
like
of my
that.
running in zone 2 and 3. So, I mean, that is obviously better than straining the 4 and I never really get the 5. I do incorporate sprinting, but that's completely different workouts. Um, I don't know. I agree with you. I need to figure it out, but I told myself I wanted to keep this mileage up until next week on our trip and then try to it's time to switch workouts anyway. I sometimes get stuck on week 5 and 6 and say, "Well, I'll just switch next week, and I'll just switch next week," and then holy crap, it's 4 or 5 weeks later and I haven't switched. I know the value and importance of that. I mean, I tell my kids that I teach all the time, but sometimes I don't even listen to my own advice. So, I think we have 2 good challenges. I mean, I definitely think if we could adopt both, each one ourselves, we're gonna get better.
We're gonna look good, feel good, and play good.
We're gonna look good, feel good, and play good, and that is extremely important. And hopefully, we're still working on the apparel part, but as people know, it's something we've been trying to really work on for quite some time now. We're closer than we've ever been, um, but we're going to get there. But as we move on, and I'm looking at the clock, we got to get going to our next segment, and we're going to talk about our first annual Fairway Fit trip, which is, like I said, as you're listening to this or you're watching us on YouTube, of course, on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And we are going to be probably traveling down for our huge weekend, group of 8. We're going down in a Ryder Cup fashion down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I know for us, it's about 7 and
About
change
7 and
of a
change,
car ride,
depending on how fast you drive.
unless you're some of our guys who are going to go ahead and fly down, but that's more on them. We're definitely driving down ourselves.
Goals is 5-year plan. We somehow get a private jet. We go
Yeah.
big time.
Well, we got a lot of work to
As
get to
long
that,
as
but
long as as long as we trust the pilot.
we trust the
I don't
pilot.
know.
Definitely.
I'm looking at like, everywhere I see on the news, there's like a new plane crash or something like that. So
There
I'm
has
kind of
been.
nervous to fly now.
Yeah, so we are leaving there here in about a week's time. We're going to try to get down there on a Wednesday night,
No, we'll be
and
down
then
there this time next week,
we'll be down there this time next week. We will be trying to play a warm up round, kind of on the Thursday,
which I will need.
just to lock in what we're going to do, and then all of us are meeting up Thursday night for kind of our, I don't know, quote unquote, opening dinner. We're trying to get together, and we're going to just make sure everybody meets and greets everybody. We had a nice
Next
little
year it'll be called the Champions Dinner.
champions dinner. Next last week we tried to get together. Most of us were there, but we're all going to get down there at Pop Stroke Tiger Woods Golf Course facility, miniature golf facility. Have some nice dinner, drinks, probably some gamble a little bit on the golf course. Play a lot of golf, get ourselves up on the leaderboard. If you've ever been to Pop Stroke, it's a good time. And then the fun starts. And it's a lot. It's a lot of golf over the next 3 days. 36 holes. We are starting off at the Myrtle Wood Country Club, where we are playing. Let's see, I had it written down here.
Palmetto
We're
and
we're playing
Pine
the
Hills.
Palmetto in the morning, and then turning around. What'd you say it was?
Pine Hills.
Pine Hills in the afternoon, which is going to be a lot of fun. One of our goals was to make sure that we were a little bit closer than we've ever been on per days. We don't need to get into a car and drive when there's plenty of golf courses that have 36, if not 54 holes on site, or close enough to where you don't even have to really travel that far. Saturday, we're getting it back together. This is going to be the tough day. I think this will be the grind. People will start feeling their bodies a little bit by the time the day goes. We're going to do 36 in the morning at Man o' War, and then we'll turn around and play 18 holes at the Wizard
The
for our PM
Wizard.
round, and that is where we need to make sure we have enough golf balls to get through our rounds. And then Sunday is our big singles event where we are going to kind of drive on our way out and play Wild Wing Abbaset, which is kind of as we are headed out of town that day. But real quickly, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about our formats that we've decided. And the reason we're sharing all this is because we want your feedback. Put it in the comments, especially if you're watching YouTube. checking us out, checking my camera that keeps going in and out, which I don't really know why. I honestly think it's my hat that I have on that is it's having a hard
Trying
time.
to focus on it.
It picks up my bill and then it will pick up my eyes when I raise my head up a little bit. Um, but I wanted to talk to show you that what we're doing, what kind of formats we're doing. Like I said, this is a Ryder Cup event. It's really only teams of 4 this year. We're looking to expand it to teams of 8 next year. We've already have a lot of interest, but a teams of 4. And our first round is a 4-ball, where we're playing. We're each playing our own ball, taking the low score between the 2 of us, which is I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a good way to start out the day because as we get tired. In our second round, we have the shamble. We are not good enough to go alternating shot like they do in the actual Ryder Cup, so we're going the shamble, where we both drive off the tee, take the best ball, play our own ball in from there, and the difference for our scoring on the shamble is that we are going to count both scores. So although we are getting tired in that afternoon, and some of us who have not played that much golf,
You still need to finish.
you still need to be able to put in. Now we do have some rules we'll go over in a minute to make sure this is a nice fun event for everybody for any level golfer. We definitely have made it fun, competitive, and hopefully it's going to be a good time. So that is our shamble in the afternoon. Turning around as we head to our third round of the weekend, we are going back to our 4-ball, our Fairway Fit 4-ball. Again, playing our own ball, lowest ball goes. And then we have a fun round. And why don't you tell us about the fun round? Explain a little bit about our 666.
Well, 666, obviously, you got 6 holes to play, 3 different formats. So obviously you gotta know when the formats change. Obviously they're the afternoon round. There's gonna be some people that are lackadaisical and maybe not realize that the format changed. Um,
Lackadaisical, intoxicated. I mean, it's all the same.
it's tomato tomato. Um, but basically the first 6 holes are situated at a I believe it is a straight scramble.
No.
Uh, Scramble is last 6 holes?
Yes.
My
It's a
bad.
shamble to start off.
Shamble is the start.
Yep.
Shamble is the start. Obviously, we go back to the shamble of, both players tee off, you take the best drive, play your ball in. The second 6 holes would be a shamble alternating shot. So you would, once again, both players tee off, you would take the best position starting point, and then you would play alternate shot of whose ball you took. So if me and Brad happen to be on the same team and we were playing together, obviously more than likely we would both hit beautiful drives right down the middle of
Mhm.
the fairway. I would try and play a draw, he would play a nice little cut. We would decide who was better. Brad would probably be further, um, which means that we would take his ball and then I would play the next shot. I would probably leave it short of the green. Brad would have to then break out his 30-yard and in shot
There we
and
go.
put us on the green for me to go ahead and sink a 2-foot putt, in order to basically have our score. Um, the last and final 6 holes of the round will be a straight scramble where basically, each player will tee off, each play you'll decide which ball you wanna play, and then both of you would have a shot from there, and you would play the ball all the way in.
Yeah, we chose this on this round and or this format on this round for a couple of different reasons. When we set this up, the gentleman that helped me pick courses out, different things, said this is a very very fun course for games like this. And honestly, we all are, even no matter how much we've been working out different things, we all are going to be exhausted. We all are going to need a little bit of help. So it's trying to take some pressure off some people, but still have fun at the same time. And then finishing up on Friday, or no, I'm sorry, finishing up on Sunday, not Friday. Finishing up on Sunday is our singles match that we're going to do. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and go ahead and announce our matchups. All right. Our players at right now don't even quite know these. We did have some last second adjustments from our captains,
Little bit.
um, from one of our captains, I should say. But he brought a very good suggestion. Like you said, with only 4 people, sometimes it's kind of hard to make our teams just so we're playing different people all the time. But I think they did a very good job with it, and hopefully that we get better as the years go. But on our first format, well, actually, let's just name our teams right off the bat. So, Team Billy. Billy is actually the owner of the condo we're going down to stay with, so he's a huge part of this. Helped us get started a couple years ago when we started doing this trip. But Team Billy is as myself, our buddy Anthony, who you have heard us talk about many, many times. And then Nick, who is a former colleague of mine and Anthony's, but still is a colleague of Greg's. That rounds out Team Billy. Then we have Team Ernie. Ernie is another one of our former colleagues, still a colleague of Greg's, but a good friend of ours. Greg is on Team Ernie. Team Brian, who's a buddy of mine at the golf course right next door. And then, I'm sorry, just Brian. And then Tim, who is a colleague of mine that I coach some baseball with. It rounds out Team Ernie. And it's pretty exciting. Wide variety of players. Actually, there's quite a few that are pretty similar, but then you do have the front end where probably Brian leads the pack as far as the most quality player we got out there. And then a couple guys that kind of maybe struggle a little bit getting that ball in the hole. But on our Friday matchups,
They're
I'll do
vibes,
the
guys.
vibes, guys. I'll do the AM matchups. Greg, do you want to go ahead and announce the PM matchups? Or actually, do you have them or with the last second changes? Do you want me to just go through them all? Because I wrote them down name by name.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
have the
So
original.
yeah. So Ernie came up with, or I'm sorry, Billy came up with some great ideas today. So we made some changes. But our first format, Ernie and Brian are teeing it up against me and Billy in the 4-ball scenario, and then following us, Greg and Tim are teeing it up against Anthony and Nick. I, you
I'm gonna
know,
have to outdress Anthony somehow.
That's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. He's been laying his outfits out for like a week already. He told me.
I mean, he
Um,
said he's, like, too deep on every single outfit
I
choice.
know, I know. What's interesting is that when you look at the matchups, that I mean, with the amount of what we call hammers, and we'll get to hammers in a moment here, that each player is getting, they're pretty competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I
They're
can see
very
them
competitive.
coming down to the point where they're competitive. I don't see anybody, like, walking off
Nobody's gonna run
on
away with it.
15 or 14 and being like, "We're done."
And again, nobody has played a lot of golf, so it's kind of where it's gonna fall. That's how you're gonna play for the next 3 days. So, and then in the afternoon matches, we got some good switches up. Ernie and Tim are gonna take on myself and Anthony, and then Brian and Greg are gonna take on Nick and Billy. All right. Again, that is the shamble. So who knows if you got somebody just killing it off the tee? I think you guys got a good chance. Got to count both scores, which may make it tough for a couple of our higher handicap guys. But
My goal is to just use my ball off the tee once with Brian.
you will. You can outdrive them. Saturday's morning format, returning to our 4-ball. We got Billy and Anthony versus Brian and Tim going off early, and then myself, Nick versus Ernie and Greg. I think Greg, is that the first time we match up?
Yeah, that is the first time we
That is
matched
the
up.
first time we match up. That's gonna be fun. It'll be a good time. The 666 format and the singles format are yet to be determined. We are going to kind of go through a draw situation either at lunch or dinner the night before to give them a feeling of who's been playing well and who's been maybe needs a little assistance when they come through it. But let's talk hammers. Let's talk hammers. Now, we could just do handicaps. We could just, give pops as we're doing match play throughout. But we came up with something called hammers. Obviously, we got the idea from the TV show where they are playing golf, where they're hitting into a giant simulator, which has been a lot of fun to watch. But we have different hammers. So every player was determined or was given a determining number of hammers by the captains and Greg and myself. And this is what a hammer is. And we're just going to give Greg as the example. So Greg per round has 8 hammers
Love it.
that he can use. Hammers can only be used once per hole, cannot use 2 a hole, cannot save them, use them all in the last hole. All right. And then we have different types of hammers. We have one that's a stroke. All right. Obviously, it is just like a handicap where you'll be given a stroke in that hole. But the difference is it has to be determined before all 4 players tee off. All right. So you can't just
You have
go
to
play,
announce to the group.
have to announce to the group. Can't just have a par and say, oh, I was stroking on that hole. It doesn't work that way. All right. You can go to the most forward tee, which I do think is going to be the interesting one, especially in the 666, because you're going to get guys in the alternating shamble where you have to tee off from one spot or the other. That could really, really, really give yourself a huge advantage if somebody's hitting from the reds and somebody's hitting from the white tees. Again, it has to be called before all 4 players hit. It's a pretty common one in the formats that we've done before. They may not call them hammers, but in the stuff we've done before. And then, of course, there's a mulligan. A mulligan can be called obviously after the shot that is taken. If I hit one out of bounds and I want a mulligan, I can take a mulligan, but I have to play my mulligan. I can't choose what shot is best. None of those can be used on the green, of course. Or the mulligans cannot be used on the green. And then during the shamble formats, only mulligans and forward tees are allowed.
Mhm.
All right. There is no strokes. All right. So there's a couple different rules. And then our favorite one that we have now, those are our hammers, but you can add yourself a mulligan by doing what we call a chulligan. And this was put in for our buddy Anthony. He kind of gave us the idea on this. Although we weren't thinking of it, he kind of solidified that was something we wanted to do. And if anytime, obviously, you chug your beverage with the playing opponents,
A full beverage.
a full beverage, you tell your playing opponents what you're doing, and you go ahead and chug from start to finish. You can earn yourself an extra mulligan. Again, not used on the tee. The big thing to remember on a chulligan is you can only use one per hole, so you can't use a hammer on a stroke and, oh my gosh, I'm about to take my triple bogey, which is the max score, and take a chulligan at the same time. So, we're doing some things that are just a lot of fun, and we'll actually put this up on our website when we get it up and running. Some things you guys can check out about how we
You can
format it.
check it out on Instagram already.
Check it out on
Get it out there.
Instagram. Yes, we do have the hammers up on Instagram and the rules as well too. But just a fun format, and if you guys have got ideas and things we can do, please let us know in the comments. We're always looking to make it better. It's the first year we've kind of put this together, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think next year you're going to be at a 0 hammers, maybe a 1.
No, I'll
I'm
probably
going to be
right
at I'm
where I
going to be
am.
at a 4. You're going to be at a 1.
I think Greg is at, what did we say you were?
I'm
An
at
8?
8.
And I was given 3 hammers. So it's not quite handicap, but it is kind of close to where we are. So I don't know. You know what? If I'm there and I'm playing that well, I will take that and run with it.
Are you going to leave hammers in your pocket though?
No. I will.
You got to.
No.
What if you
I-
throw a wedge like from 31 feet to like 8 feet? Are you going to take them? And you got a mulligan in your pocket. Are you going to take the mulligan?
On 18.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm on 18,
Match on the line. Match on the line. You threw a dart that spun back just a little bit too much, and it's sitting at like 6, 8
so if
feet.
it's a front pin, I'm going to spin it back to the fringe.
Just out of like, gimme range, which they're not going to give you anyways. It's 18
No.
match on the line. Do you throw the hammer and say, I want a mulligan?
It depends on how I'm rolling the rock. I mean, let's be honest. That's going to be the
How
deciding
many putters are you
factor
bringing
anyway.
again?
Just one.
Just one?
I'm back on
Oh,
my Odyssey putter,
'cause
not the 2-ball
last
putter.
week you said 2.
I did. It's still here. It's still just leaning against the fireplace.
Okay. What if your brother gives you the other putter back? Are you gonna bring that
That
one
one I
along?
would take. That one I would take. That one I would take. So, but man, I can't wait. We do have some kind of fun rules. Like I said, we'll put some information up on our website. We'll try to get that up as we are down there, and I can't wait. I mean, just to get out of here. The weather looks great. Looks like we're high 60s, low 70s all 4 days that we are down there. Going to have a good time at Pop Stroke. Going to have a good time when we go get a bite to eat. Get to see my dad. I know you get to see your mom. on the first days that we get down there. But I cannot wait. This is something that um, it actually has taken a little bit more time than I thought it would, but we got a great goodie pack for everybody. We got Yetis for them, custom towels. We have custom hoodies, custom coolers, custom bag tags. I mean, it is a value pack that they're getting, a couple $100 worth of stuff that they're going to be taking home with them. And if anyone wants to sponsor the tournament and help us out,
That'd
we
be
would be glad
great.
to sit and listen to you as well too. But got the trophy sitting behind me. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did. I noticed it
Yeah,
right
got the
away.
trophy sitting behind me that somebody's going to be drinking out of after the singles matches. Hopefully, it's my team. Hopefully, Team Billy and I are bringing it home. I definitely think Team Billy might be a little bit more into this than Ernie is right now, but we'll see. It could change the
Competition
morale when
brings
he
out
starts playing.
people.
It definitely does. Definitely does. So, um, yeah, we can't wait. Like I said, by the time you're listening to this, we'll be down there enjoying ourselves, and then you'll have to check back in, and we will give you an update of how things went. But before we sign off, Greg, I got a dramatic reading.
From
All right,
today?
from today.
Oh
All
boy, because
right.
I knew I do know that you were playing 9 holes a day.
So I went out to play 9 today, and I have been working a little bit hard, not necessarily in a swing change, but just kind of on a path, kind of consistency where been working on not hinging my hand and really working on having the kind of the elbow not the elbow, the wrist push forward on my takeaways and different things. So it kind of looks like I'm a little bit more upright than necessarily maybe I have been, where I got maybe to that baseball hitting position with the club wrapped around my head. So now I probably is still getting there, but it's a feel thing. And like I said, I had a really good range day yesterday. It's helped me tremendously off the tee. And so I went out today. I played my combo tees where we between blues and golds on the front 9. Little wind into me, 300 yards right down the middle. Got down the hill from the gold tees,
Oh
right down the
boy.
little split of the tee box, or not the tee box, of the fairway on one. You know how it narrows. Hit a wedge to about 8 feet, lipped it. So made par. On 2, hit a beautiful drive again from the back tee. So it is a driver into the wind. Fairway, hit it to about 7 feet,
In the
missed it.
bowl?
In the bowl. Pin was in the bowl, about 7 feet. I missed it. So I was a little frustrated there because I mean, to go one under going into to go 5-3-5 on the next 3 holes. It's nice to have that one favor. So again, beautiful cuts right down my lines. This time I kind of hit it a little bit closer to the heel, so it was a little bit of a bigger cut, but split the fairway on 3. Had 146, hit my 9-iron to about 5 feet, little into the wind, cut wind, hit it 5 feet, made eagle.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I've eagled the hole before, so it wasn't like that was the first time, but first eagle of the year. Felt really good, and so I'm like, all right, I'm rolling a little bit, no big deal. Uh, Tough par 3, it's playing close to like 190. It was on the top back ridge, so I was just trying to hit the green. I did actually hit the green, but it kind of ran off to the left.
Ooh, I hate that.
Kind of, how it kind of
Yes.
funnels towards the next tee box. And so I had to hit a pitch into the bank and then kind of roll up. I hit it to about 6 inches. Now, if you remember, I told you the day before, I hit probably 50 or 60 chips, felt in a
Mhm.
really good place. So there's up and down number 1. All right. Number 2, cleared the bunker on the left. I was actually in the rough, had a perfect little 6-iron that could have got me to the green, but I kind of duck hooked it a little bit, a little chunky and left. I was shielded by a tree, so I had to play to the back
Out
of the
by the
green,
bathrooms?
a little bit closer to the bathrooms, but so I just chipped to the back of the green and 2 putted. Pretty simple. I was looking to make birdie there. To go 3 through 5 would have been like, whoa, hold on here. Like maybe I need to play 18 today type thing.
Honey,
So 3
I'll
through
be home later.
yeah, yeah. So ended up just making par. Felt really good so far. Wasn't up a set at all. Number 6, very tough hole. I think it was playing like 185, a little into the wind, and hit another kind of chunky pole 7-iron. It landed on the lip of the bunker and scooted towards the cart path. Couldn't find my ball. It was actually in the high straw. So I was a little upset with there. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I was like, I actually just stay left of the flag, 2-putt, take bogey. I'll be fine. Hit a really good ball, had about 25 feet, 2-putted, took bogey, went to the next hole. Wasn't upset at all. I mean, bad shot, didn't make a bad mistake to the next one. Hole number 7, right next to Route 7, 5-iron wedge, 15 feet. Didn't really have a really makeable putt, left it a little short. Number 8, kind of scrambled a little bit again, kind of a little bit of a block, hybrid off the tee. And I had a good look, and I actually thought I hit it really well. I think I got kind of confused on the wind and left me in the bunker. All right, so perfect bunker line, not a really hard bunker shot, but it's a bunker shot, right? Haven't really worked on it. Hit it to about 3 feet, tapped it in. All right, so I got through the hard holes. 9 is a tough tee shot, but not really a hard hole. So I'm thinking like, dude, this is awesome. I got a chance here. Didn't hit the best hybrid. I kind of blew it up into the wind. And it faded towards the bunker side. So instead of being a wedge or a 9-iron, now I'm 7-iron into the wind.
Oh boy.
Back pin in the middle. So it really wasn't a bad pin location, but I couldn't see the pin because it blew it back to where it was just shielded. Hit a decent 7-iron, but I left it short. Again, it wasn't jumping off the club with the irons, which is gonna blow you away when I tell you the score. So I was a little short, had to chip, probably about a 20-yard chip. Dude hit a chip to about 6 inches. So missed 4 greens, got up and down 3 or 4 times.
Dang.
Shot at 35.
Dang.
Yeah. So now, I mean,
Now
first 3
I
holes.
want you to do that on the back though.
Well, I have to keep it going. I will tell you though. So
18's been your nemesis on that course.
it has been. 17 is not a hard hole, but when I've
35 is
gone
a hell of
there,
a score though. Especially
35.
especially today wasn't like, calm. It was blustery a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the wind wasn't bad. It ended up being a little swirly at times, kind of in some lower areas. But yeah, I mean, putted it fine. I did get lucky on 5. I had a pretty quick downhill putt. I did. I hit it way too hard, but it was dead center and just popped up and trickled like 2 feet. So if I don't hit the hole, I did take the pin out on every time. I was following one of the best players in the area for high school, and I did notice he took the pin out every time. So I did too. Why not? It works. Might as well do it. So I kind of got a little lucky there. And I mean, you make the eagle putt, but I easily could have made birdie on 2, birdie on 3 to be in the same situation. Or
True.
heck, I could have made birdie on 1 that I missed the opportunity, but I took advantage of it. So ended up with 14 putts. I think I hit 70% of the fairways. It was pretty solid there. I think it was at 5 of 7. And then I hit 5 of 9 greens. And like I said, I got up and down 3 times. Had 14 putts. I mean,
It's pretty darn
I mean,
impressive.
I try to be under 32 putts. I think is a really solid round for me. If I hit a lot of greens, that usually is a little higher just because if I'm hitting greens, I could be 30, 40 feet away, and I'm not going to one putt those. But I'm telling you, like I said, I chipped yesterday for about 30, 35, 40 minutes, and just from one spot, it was
Love
ball
it. I love it
contact.
when a plan comes together.
It came together. It came together. So we're on the board. I don't know what the handicap will come out to tomorrow. It was a
Do I need to
negative.
do we need to take a hammer away?
No. It was a negative 2.6, was the index.
That's a pretty
So,
damn good score.
yeah, that was definitely my low. So with my handicap, I was supposed to you gave me 3 shots on that side, and I shot 35. So, felt pretty good. Now I'll probably blow up next time I play. But like I said, just taking it one round at a time, and the 9-hole stuff really makes a huge difference, and that's why you need to get out here. The cot's in the basement. I'll leave it up, and we make that work.
Soon.
So that's my dramatic reading for first one of 2025.
Not bad. Not bad. And a solid one at that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would obviously would have taken even.
My dramatic reading would be like, hey, I was only 6 over.
No. Through 6.
Yeah, exactly. Through 6. I was playing bogey golf. It was wild.
Well, next time everyone hears from us, like I said, check us out on YouTube, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on all those. Spotify. If you want to listen to us in your car, or if you want to check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and man, next time you hear from us, we will have somebody drinking out of the trophy right here behind us.
Yes, sir.
All right, talk to everybody later. Peace.